share this link and see if everyone will be able to join. Just tuned in. I tried to conduct a lesson on our Telegram, but I wasn't able to due to poor quality. Just try to that. Okay, I see someone has joined. So as I was explaining, I tried to start a live lesson in our Telegram classroom, but I failed, and it seems to be working here on Telegram Live. So I'm just not sure, honorable members, do we need to go back to Telegram and check if it's going to work, or are we going to continue here? I'm just not sure about that, but let me maybe cancel this and then go back to the Telegram classroom. So I'm just going to okay, let me not cancel. I see other guys have joined. So guys, can you just comment to notify me if all is in order? If you are able to hear me, you can comment in the Telegram classroom, or you can just comment on this live lesson. It's not clear. Matapelo says it's not clear. Maybe can someone just comment also to indicate if it's also not clear on your side? So Matapelo, is it the voice, is it the audio, or is it the quality which is the same? Someone, it's not on, or I say, okay, someone just confirmed also to say it's not clear. Jesus, I wonder what could be the issue. What am I going to do now? Okay, let me see. Because on my side it seems to be clear. Maybe let me try connect with. It's clear. Now is clear. Okay, it seems like there's someone who says now. I just saw your inbox. The thing that I've just noticed is that when you inbox, it forces me to go out of this live and check the inbox. So just in case you have to comment, try comment on these live charts, so that as I'm working there, I'm also able to see your comments. For the last time, can someone just confirm if it's clear? In that way, I think we'll be able to complete this question and also have a look at that other question. Can someone for the last time just confirm if it's clear before I continue? Okay, let me resend what we are doing now. Matapelo, is it clear? I noticed you said clear, but I just need that last confirmation, because Smokey said it's clear. Say okay, 100%. In that case, let's continue. I'm just wondering in terms of what problem. Okay, now I see where we were, which is where I'm going to continue from. So just in case if you missed yesterday's lesson, the link is there in the classroom. You can just scroll up and you will definitely find that link. Then you can start from the beginning. But otherwise, in case if you look at that and you've got some questions, you are more than welcome to ask those questions. In that way, I'm therefore going to be able to re-explain whatever that you could have missed. Okay, so let's see. A 5.1.4. where the question was saying hence or otherwise determine the coordinates of point, the coordinates of a point that lies on F in the fourth quadrant, which is the closest to point A. And what we know is that this is that point A, and I've just explained what is meant by a point which is closer to that point A over there. So if you guys remember, that's where at that point we have that function interacting with that straight line. So it's more like at that point, that's where you have the equation of that straight line being equals to the equation of that. So that is why you will need to equate the two, and then only after you will then solve for x, of which you are going to find that x value there, and then later you can calculate that. So obviously that is the function of f. The question now is, what was the equation for that straight line? It was calculated to be y, which is equals to negative x minus 2. Was it minus 2 or was it negative 1? Someone who can remember. What was it? What was the equation of that straight line? Let's see. Because we said it was y is equals to negative x plus c at that point A having the coordinates of 1 and negative 2. Then we substituted negative 2 there, and then we said negative 1 there plus c. You take that to the other side, it's like negative that plus 1, which is equals to that. And our c ends up being negative 1. Yes. So that means the equation of that straight line is actually y, which is equals to negative x minus 1. Matapelo Major has just confirmed that. Thanks very much, honorable member. So now let's see. So what you would do, it is therefore to take that equation being negative x minus 1, which is equals to that other one being negative 9 over x minus 1 minus 2. This is where now a examiner is trying to check if you fully understand what is going on over now, you to then calculate or solve for the x value. In the end, you need to tell me what is your first x value. If you've got two x values, also tell me what is your second x value. So I'm just going to give you guys a moment to work it out as I'll be waiting. I'm just wondering if all of you guys have joined. So I'm just waiting as you guys work it out. Remember, in case of no idea, but in this case, you won't need to say no idea because you've got a hint in terms of what to do. All that you need to do is just to try and solve that. What x values are you guys getting on your side? Hmm? Are you guys calculating there? I did. I noticed that someone just indicated that. And then Wanama Major got the first x value being 4. That gives me an idea. With you guys commenting, you've just given me, they say, you are actually working it out on your side. It's fine in case if you've got no idea when we get to the answer. But for those of you guys who can try something, just make sure that you give it a try on your side. Okay, just so that I've got an idea of who has managed to attend. Um, when you get a chance, can you just comment in the classroom and say, I'm live? Just so that I've got an idea of who has attended. Okay, Ngwanama Major's got the first and second x values. Okay, thanks very much for those, and calculate and see what else we can arrive at. So remember guys, just in case if you were not aware, Matapelo knows this very well. That's why she is super active. That is because with my lessons, honorable members, I don't care that much if your answer is wrong or correct. As long as you can work it out, as long as you can try, work it out, it makes me very much happy when you fail, because I am going to work it out so that you are able to see and learn how it actually works, or learn how you are supposed to do it. And most importantly, honorable members, the reason why I like this YouTube live, it's because I'm not tempted to want you guys to comment, not necessarily by typing, but by speaking. Because what normally happens is that I give it to you in that format, and I say what can be done there, so someone is able to easily unmute their mic and try to explain how they would work it out. But I realize explaining or trying to indicate how to approach it is different from when you actually work it out. Okay, I see there are honorable members who have commented there to say, I'm live, I'm live, I'm live, which is good. It gives me an idea of who's on the line. So now, let me try, work it out, and see how far we can go with that one. And also, remember, guys, try to do this on Telegram, but it failed due to poor quality. And in case if the same thing happens here, let me know immediately so that I can try something different. But I think we are still okay. Let's see. Jabulile Shezi says, I'm live. Okay. Jabulile, try comment in the Telegram classroom, because I'm not sure what your Telegram name is. Jabulile Shezi. Okay. So let's see. This is what you would do, honorable members. Remember that at all the times, you always want to have your unknown on the left. Meaning, if it is x that we're trying to solve, let's try make sure that it's on the left. But before you even do that, try take this 2 to the other side. So that means it's more like you're having negative x minus that 1, and then that 2 changes the sign. Then you have that negative 9 over x minus 1. Okay, so now let's see. When you try work that out, okay, now I see. So you have negative x. What is that? I think that when you work it out, it ends up being positive 1. You still have that negative 9 x minus 1. Let's see. This thing, I'm telling you, honorable members, the moment you start having, let's say, negative 1 plus 1, have, let's say, negative 2p, let's say, plus 7, it's always best to start with that positive 7, and then you say minus 2p. It's going to make your life very much easier. I hope you guys are able to understand that part. So that means this one, I can actually rewrite it as 1 minus x instead of negative x plus 1. I'll write it as 1 minus x. So now this is where you can cross multiply. Remember, the moment you have whatever which is equals to whatever over whatever, just know that this whatever, because of this one is over something, then this one overrides it to 1. Yes, I've used a very big word there, overrides it. Let me emphasize that so that it's easier for you to relate to what I'm going to explain. When I say overrise it, I'm just saying whether you have whatever over whatever it's equals to, let's say whatever, overrise this whatever by 1. Just say over 1 there, which is the same thing that we're going to do here. We are just going to overrise that one, say over 1. You overrise all of it. Why would you do that? It's so that you cross multiply. So that means the whole of this will multiply that. It's as if now you are having 1 minus x that you're multiplying with x minus 1, which is equals to that times that. It's the same as that. Just as this is going to be interesting. Let's see. You remember, honorable members, when it gets to this point, this is where now you need to say da ba da da ba da da ba da da ba da. Not sure if you guys remember that Amapiano song that we invented of da ba da da. So let's see. This is where you need to be careful. It's 1 times x, which is just x. It's 1 times negative 1, which is negative 1. Now we have x being negative x times x. It gives negative x squared. Double da, it gives positive x. You still have that negative 9. Let's just take it to the other side, and then it changes the sign. Everything is being equated to 0. The question now is, why did I have to take that to the other side? It's because the moment you see letter to the power of 2, just know that it's going to end up as a quadratic equation, which must be equated to 0. Rendani chidada. Rendani chidada. This one, it has to be a, what's that on smoky? A smoky. Can you just confirm if that is you, honorable member? You are getting the x value being 2 and the other one being negative 4. Just confirm, honorable member, if it's you, smoky. So let's see. Now let me try to work that out. How is it going to look like, honorable members, when you work it out? So that means we can firstly start with before I even complicate it, let's just make sure that we don't rush it. Let me say we have x, we're going to work those together, and then we have that and that. So maybe let's say we have negative x squared being that one, and then x plus x, it ends up being 2x, negative 1 plus that, it ends up being 8. And that is equals to 0. But now I don't want that negative, so I'm going to change the sign of every term. Or otherwise, you can just say you're going to divide by negative 1. Okay, add a big smoke. I knew it was you, honorable member. So that means now we have x squared minus 2x minus 8. All of that equals to 0. Remember, guys, as I'm working it out, please also write all of that, honorable members, just so that you have a feel of what goes into working that out. I see Andiswa and Lechemi managed to join. Okay, that's very good, honorable members. I'm very much happy that you guys are tuning in. Very, very much happy. Very, very much. Okay, so now let's see. This is where now you need to factorize all of that. So you are having x. Let's see here. You can say and also 2, because these two values are going to give you 8 and they can also give you that. Remember, the bigger number takes the sign of the middle term, meaning that one is going to be that, and then this one, it is going to be that. So this is so that when you say double da, it gives you that. Double da, it gives you negative 4, and when you say double da, it gives you positive 2x, meaning it's like the middle term is going to be negative 4x plus 2x, which is going to end up as negative 2x. And when you say double da, it ends up giving you negative 8. So can you guys see? You can now easily say that x plus 2 equals to 0, or that x minus 4 equals to 0. This is where now you will take this to the other side, then you end up having your x, which is equals to negative 2, or your x being equals to positive 4. So let's see. This is how you would work it out, honorable members. Ngwana Mameja, you got that 4 correct. I'm not sure what happened to that negative 2, honorable member. You got 0 there. I'm just curious in terms of if you did notice your mistake. Big Smoke, you almost smoked it, honorable member. You just swapped the signs. I'm not sure what happened there. Can the two of you guys indicate by commenting if you saw or if you noticed your mistake, or otherwise if you did not understand? Did you guys notice your mistake and do you understand what I've done there? So let's see. Those are the two x values, but between these two x values, you need to choose the correct value of x. Obviously, between these two, the one that suits to be that one, it is this one of positive 4. That would mean this one of negative 2, it is on the other point which touches that same function. So that means that there it is that negative 2. But because examiner specified to say the point that we're looking for is in the 4th quadrant, that is why, honorable members, we had to go with that one there being 4, which is on the positive x-axis. Let's remember, what they wanted was the coordinates. So that means we are now going to go with this one. This one you can just do a cross there. You are simply saying our x is not equals to negative 2 for what we are trying to calculate, but it is equals to 4. So that would mean we already have our x value. What is therefore going to be our y value? I'm also giving to honorable members of the opposition parties to also discuss that. So what do you guys think on your side with regard to calculate that? So that we we are able to know if you would get it correct. Remember, soon as this is done, we are still continuing on some other stuff, honorable members. Just be waiting for my answer in the meantime, Libandla Alakankulunkulu. Okay, Matapelo just confirmed. Thanks very much, honorable member. I'm very much glad that you're able to notice that. That's how we learn. That's how we learn, honorable members, through doing. Sifunda ngokuwenza. Shukti umele siyenze is something so that we can be able to understand what can an. I'm just going to forward the next question that we're going to work on this for. Kusaso Shuba, honorable members, if you thought let's see. Okay, I've just sent another question that we're going to be working on. You can actually see that there's a lot that you can still learn with regards to this type of a function. So just make sure that as soon as we finish off with this one, that next one that I've just sent, then we know that we have covered most of the most important thing or the most important things in a hyperbola. So let's see, guys, what is the answer? What is the answer for die y value? Are you still working it out? Let me chow my biltong as I'm waiting for you guys to work that out. Haibo. Honorable members, are you still working it out? Or is it difficult? Okay. Maybe let me see if I can work it out very quickly. This is what you do, honorable members. This is that situation where you can use that equation or you can use that equation. Whichever equation that you use, you need to get the same answer. So, to calculate the y value, you can say y is equals to negative x minus 1, and then you substitute that x value that you calculated. And as you do that, you end up getting negative 5 as your final answer when using that formula. So for you to test if your calculation was correct, that's if when you use that same formula, you that this everything is clear. I've just my external power battery. Okay, so let's see. Obviously, we are going to substitute our 4 minus 1 there, minus 2. Then when you punch that, let's see, at the top we have negative 9 divided by 4 minus 1 is 3, and then minus 2. What is negative 3 over... Negative 9 over 3, I think that is negative 3. Negative 9 over 3, you still have that minus 2. And negative 3 minus 2 is -5. So can you see? You're still getting the same answer. So that means actually our y value, that one there, is saying I'm about, okay, so I was saying I'm about that last question, and then after that one, then we are going to try and tackle that other question that I sent in the classroom. Let me remind you guys of something very, very much important. I think this type of a lesson, it has got an advantage because if I've explained something, let's say for example, you joined late and you missed some of the things that I've explained. What I like about this one is that you can it's more like replay. You can replay while this lesson is live. You can just go back or scroll back so that you listen to a repeat of what I've explained. And then once you think you've got that, then you can to reconnect. Maybe let me ask, is it okay, guys, on your side? Are we still okay that side? Because notice on my side, it keeps on disconnecting and I keep on reconnecting. Is it okay on your side, honorable members? You can just comment here on the live. So let's see, the next question being the last one for that 5.1, it says, the graph of f. The graph of f is reflected about the x-axis to obtain the graph of g. They're saying f of x reflected about x-axis to give g of x. Now they are saying write down the equation of g. I wonder if you guys will be able to see that question, but this is what they are saying. This is what they are saying, honorable member. They are saying the graph of f is reflected about the x-axis to obtain the graph. Okay, let me now explain something very much important, honorable members. I get we have this vertical line representing the x-axis. When they say something is reflected, firstly, let's say about the y-axis. That means if you had a point here, it's like you are opening the door about the y-axis. This is what you are going to do. Or you are pendula. What am I going to say this? You are pendulating this thing about the y-axis. You are reflecting it about the y-axis. So if you had a point there, let's say that point being point A, I'll just be realistic and say here, let's say it is 3 and 3. That point there, which is an indication that, let me check if I'm connected. Yes, I'm connected to Wi-Fi. Let me switch off the Wi-Fi and with the data. How guys, Is it okay or it is still not okay? Mm. Is it okay or still not okay? Maybe let me continue explaining in the meantime. Then I will hear from you as I continue. Okay, this is what happens, honorable members. If you reflect that about the y-axis, can you is it okay on your side, honorable members? Me, I'm showing Billy Dawn. Okay, so as it reflects about the y-axis, the values remain the same. Very, very much important. The values remain the same. The only thing that changes is the sign. So that means between x and y, something is going to change the sign. And you can already tell that actually that y, it remains the same. It remains that positive 3. But what has changed, it is the x value. It was positive 3 here. This side is negative x. So that would mean actually the new values would be negative 3 and that. So that was a reflection about the y-axis. So now let's look at reflection about the x-axis. So let's try to reflect that one about the x-axis. Remember, we have that. So obviously it means that point will therefore be somewhere there. So that is why I'm going to say A, which has reflected, now we are reflecting it again. So very, very much important. If now the reflection is about the x-axis, that means something is going to change. The values stays the same, it's only the signs which change. Obviously, this is going to remain as that negative 3. It's only that y value. It has now been reflected from being that side. It is now this side. And we know this side we are having negative y values, meaning we are going to have negative 3. Now I'm going to summarize it. As I summarize it, just make sure that you note down this information. So let's say reflection about x-axis. It is y value that changes the sign. I wanted to write it the shortest way. Reflection about x-axis, y change sign. Let me just say y change sign. When it comes to reflection about the y-axis, it is x that change the sign. Yes. So about the x-axis, if you have x and y, the reflection will be such that it remains as x, but it is the y that changes the sign. And if examiner says reflection about the y-axis, just know that if you initially had whatever as your coordinates, because they say about the y-axis, it is the x that changes the sign. Yes, I think I've explained it in two different ways. So it's just a matter of you trying to remember that or otherwise that. You will see which one between the two to remember. But what matters the most is that if it's a reflection about the x-axis, it is the y that changes the sign. The value stays the same. It's only that. So now back to our question. I'm just all of that, and then let's see. They are talking about f of x which has reflected, and what we know is that f of x is y is equals to -9 x minus 1 minus 2 there. That is what we know with regards to the information that we are given. They say reflection about the x-axis to give us g of x. So that means what we know is that a reflection about the x-axis, it is the y that changes. So this is where we are going to put a negative next to y, because we said reflection about the x-axis, it is the y that changes the sign. If they said reflection about the y-axis, we were going to put a negative there on that x. That's how it works, honorable members. So all that you need to do, very, very simple. You just need to remove that negative sign. And one can say you're just going to multiply everything by -1. Remember, there's an invisible 1 there. So when you multiply that term by -1, you end up having y. If you multiply that term by 1, it cancels with that negative. You end up having positive a value. And when you multiply negative by that, you end up having positive 2. So that means actually this new function being g of x, it ends up being that. Yes, that. I'm not sure if that made sense, honorable members, but I'm suspecting that it did make sense. I'm very much happy that I've discovered something very much important, honorable members. And guess what? Just in case if I've explained something, maybe you just tuned in now. Uh, keeps on disconnecting, I keep on reconnecting. Your last communication was that it's not okay, it's blame. Is it still the same, honorable members, or is it clear now in the meantime? How is it now, honorable members? Still the same? Hmm? It's Blair. Jesus. Jesus. Maybe someone to also confirm that if it's Blair, then if you guys find these lessons valuable, I don't mind us having another lesson tomorrow where we complete this one. I think it will benefit most of you guys a lot because up to so far, I'm impressed with your engagement and I'm impressed with your attendance. Can someone indicate if it's clear? Is it clear, guys, or is it blur still? Matabela has just indicated that it's blur. I just want to confirm if everyone is experiencing the same thing, just so that I'm aware that we can still continue with this tomorrow, same time, same place. So this is the function of f, which is that. You remember parabola, hyperbola, it's that. And then here we have a point called D, and they're saying this one is the function of G. We've got a point there being A, chida, da. Big Smoke says it's clear. We also have C there. And then we also have another point being B there, and then we have the origin being that one there. I think I've included everything there, honorable member. Clear, or if it's blurry. Tandazile, maybe try to disconnect or go out and then join again and see if there's going to be some improvements. So this is the information that we have, honorable members. And when you read that given statement there, maybe let me bring these somewhere here, and then from there, we are therefore going to try work it out. So let's see, what are they saying there? Members of parliament, let's see. So this is what they are saying. The diagram below shows the graphs of f of x. So we already have f of x, which is equals to 1 over x plus 3 minus 1. And another one being g of x. G of x, which is equals to half x. Yes. Okay, let me read through that statement. It says the graph of f intersects the x-axis at A and the y-axis at B. So the x-axis at A, yes, we can see, and then the y-axis at B, yes. The graph of f and g intersect at points C and B. C and D. C that point and D that point. Yes, there I agree. There I fully agree. Let's now try have a look at the questions. Very, very much important, honorable members, that you are able to notice what is going on over there. Number one, you need to be able to identify the types of that you are dealing with. Which functions am I talking about? I'm talking about the straight line, I'm talking about the parabola, I'm talking about the hyperbola, I'm talking about the exponential. So what you need to be able to do is to identify the type of a function that you are dealing with. In this case, we've got that type of a function, which is a good confirmation that we are dealing with a hyperbola. And also you can see having those broken lines, which is what we call the equations of the asymptotes, which you get from your equation. Remember, I've just said it's actually x plus p plus q, and I said this a can be a positive or a negative value. Positive value means your function originally is from the first and third quadrant. So that means for a positive a value, function is there and there. But for a negative value, it's originally from the second and fourth quadrant, meaning on your Cartesian plane is there and that side. And when it comes to the coordinates of your asymptote, you just take your p value with its opposite sign, you take your q value with its sign as it is. Again, you have a straight line. You also have a straight line. And there is the equation. Even though it looks strange, a small key, it does look strange, but it is an equation of a straight line because it is in that format of y is equals to, we have a value x, we do have our c value. That we know it is m, the gradient. In this case, the gradient, it's a half, and then our c value is 0 there. That's why it ends up being half x. No need to write that 0. But we can see it's evident that it's actually passing through the origin. So that means it cuts the y-axis at the origin. That is why we don't have to write that part there, but we can just leave it there where it says g of x equals a half x. I hope that makes sense, honorable members. That was just a very quick background before we get to the business of the day. So now we are about to discuss some parliamentary discussions. So let's see. The first question says, write down the equations of the asymptotes of f. That's what they want you to write, honorable members. No one is saying calculate anything, but they are just saying write down the equations of the asymptotes of f. How are we going to answer that question, honorable members? 6 point. Wow. What are the coordinates? They didn't say the coordinates, but they said write down the equations of the asymptotes of f. What are the equations of the asymptotes of f? Remember, you can just comment here on the live lesson. to say whatever, whatever. I'll just be waiting for you guys to think about it and give me an answer to that question. I'm very much happy that in this way you guys are able to apply your mind and you only provide an answer to the question. So I will definitely make sure to take a pause and give you guys an opportunity to try and work it out. So I am definitely going to give you guys an opportunity to try and work it out. All that you need to do is just to comment with the answers le bandla la kankulunkulu bantwana baka yeso thixo waseJojo. Okay, what are you guys getting on your side? I'm pretty much sure that you guys are busy doing some calculations there. Guys, what are the equations of the asymptotes of f? Mm. Remember, in case if you've got no idea, you just make a comment and say no idea. In that way, I'm able to know that you guys did get my question. You are just probably not having an idea of what to do there. But this one, it was explained multiple times, honorable members. Okay, it's fine. I will give an answer to that question. Jobs, thanks for your honesty, honorable member. Okay, this is how you work it out. If you guys remember, we just said we have y, which is equal to a, x plus p plus q. Then when it comes to equations of asymptotes, this is where you say x is equals to, you can just say negative p, x is equals to q. If they want it, yeah, maybe let me maybe do it this way so that you guys will never get it wrong. If the question says equations of asymptotes, you will always have to say x is equals to, you're just going to take the negative p, or you're going to substitute your p value into that, and you're going to say y is equals to, then you put or you give your q value. But if they want it in the form of a coordinates, you then do it this way, where you open the bracket and you have negative p and you have q there. So this is how you're going to give an answer, honorable members. Because they said equations, you're going to say negative, you're going to say x is equals to negative, what is your p value there? Can you see? This is where you find your p value being positive 3. So that means you're having positive 3 there, which means actually you are having your x being negative 3. Then you are done. When it comes to the y value, you just take it as it is. Can you see? There is your q value being negative 1. If you had to write it in the brackets, you already have negative 3 there and you already have negative 1 there as your q. So obviously when you remove those brackets, you end up having negative 3. I'm just not sure which one is going to be the easiest. Otherwise, to re-explain that same thing but differently, if you guys remember, I did explain it yesterday to say, you will just say x is equals to, you take that p-value with its opposite sign. If it's positive 3 there, you just write it as negative 3. But q, you write it with its original sign. The same thing for when you give the coordinates. You look at there, your p-value is that 3. It's in that position of 3, but you write it with its opposite sign. But when it comes to the y value, write it as it is. So it's more like you are saying, actually, this is where you have your x being equals to what is it? Negative 3, not 3, but negative 3, yes. Negative 3. And then this is the one where you have your y being negative 1. That one there. The negative 3 is that one there. So as you give these answers, it has to make sense, honorable members. It has to make sense. It definitely has to make sense. I hope you guys have got an idea of what exactly I'm talking about. I hope you guys have got an idea. Okay, so now that means this is how you would answer that question being 6.1. So let's move on to the next question being 6.2, which says determine the domain of f. The domain of f. When it comes to the domains, they simply want you to comment on the x values. And this is where you would usually say x is the element of real numbers. So it's more like you are saying all the x values that you can substitute into that equation, they are valid. Except when you take the x value and you try substitute that where it gives the broken line being negative 3, that's when it's going to give you an error. So it's more like here, it gives you an error. So it's like you are saying all the x values are valid when you substitute them into that formula. It's only this negative 3 where you get an error. That is why, honorable members, they always say your function must never touch that asymptote. It must never touch or cross. The moment it does, utoile. Let me try and explain this differently by giving you guys a scenario. Let's say we have asymptote there, we also have an asymptote there, then we have that, and we also have that. And they say, let's say this is G, that G there, and then let's say here they are saying this is point A having the coordinates, let's say 4 and 2. This is what you are given, and they say what are the domains for G. First thing first, to score 1 mark, say x is the element of real number. That is number 1. And then number 2, you just say x not equals to a where you get your asymptote, the x value of the asymptote. And where do you get the x value of your asymptote? It is that one there, honorable members. So that means you would simply say x not equals to 4. It's like you're saying when you substitute this one, it gives you an error. You won't need to write that in exam. I'm just explaining here to say, to give the domain, you're just going to say x is the element of real numbers, and also you say x is not equals to 4. So to summarize it, that's why I'm saying x not equals to your p. So you will score 1 mark for that and 1 mark for that. Why am I saying p? It's more like I'm saying whatever the p value that you have, you then say x not equals to that, because that's where when you take that p value, substitute it into the equation, it's going to give you an error. I'm not sure if you guys understood what I've explained there. But remember, you've got an opportunity to try and re-watch or replay all of that. So 6.3. Let's try and work that out real quick. So 6.3, we therefore have 6.3.1, where they say calculate the length of this first one. They want OB. 6.3.2, they say OA. Just this is the origin, so they want from there to there. They also want from that same origin to there. How would you work that out, honorable members? How would you work that out? Le bandla la kaNkulunkulu. Singayenza kanjani lento le? Remember, in case if you've got no idea, comment. Also, if you are still working it out, just comment and say still calculating, just so that I'm aware that there's someone who's doing something before I start doing something. How can we calculate those distances? How are we going to calculate those? Let's see if there's someone who can be able to find that out. Ngisalindile bantu babadala. Ngisalindile. Are you still trying to work it out on your side, honorable members? Just give me an idea of what you guys are busy doing there. Or are you guys busy watching Uzalo that side? Okay, then it's fine. Um, then it's fine. Let me work it out, honorable members. Let me work it out so that you've got an idea of what is expected of you in this case. So let's see. A first thing that you need to do is to understand that if you can be able to calculate the coordinates of B, that's how you would know the length. If, for example, here it's -5, that would mean from O to A, it's actually 5 units. So it looks as if examiner tried to be smart by asking the question differently and not trying to be obvious. By obvious, I mean they did not want to say calculate the coordinates of A and B, but they said the distance or calculate the length. So there's something, maybe let's start with B because they said OB. There's something that we know there. Something is 0 there, B, and it's X. So that means for us to calculate the Y value from that formula, what we are going to do is to substitute the X value that we know that is 0 at B. So that means we have 1 over 0 plus 3 minus 1. You punch all of that, it gives you an answer. Is 1 over 0 plus 3 minus 1, you get -2 over 3. -2 over 3. So that means the length from O to B, you just say 2 over 3 units. That's what you can say. And then when it comes to OA, we know something there it's 0 at the coordinates of A. Y is 0. X is what we're looking for. So that means from that same equation, we are therefore going to substitute 0 there and start solving. You obviously take that -1 to the other side, it becomes +1, which is equals to that. And then you cross multiply. Remember when I was saying you overrise it, then you say that times that is the same as that, because anything times 1, it doesn't change. That times that is that. So your X ends up being, you take this to the other side, it's like 1 minus 3, it ends up being -2. So it's like there the coordinates you have -2. So that would mean actually from the origin to point A is 2 units. Remember when it comes to the length, you don't mention the negative sign. So I think, let me see, we have gone over an hour. We might need to leave it there, honorable members. We might need to leave it there, and you guys can try work out the last 2 questions. For those of you guys who are still in this lesson, the code for this lesson, you can just comment if you would like to suggest for us to continue with another additional lesson tomorrow. So you'll just comment a additional lesson tomorrow. In that way, I'm aware how many of you guys do need that additional lesson. Remember guys, what we're actually doing now, it is to prepare for your final examination. So there's no time to play anymore, honorable members. We need to make sure that we push. We need to make sure that we study non-stop. If I've got the energy to do it, while I'm not the one who's going to be writing examinations. You need to be encouraged to participate, making use of this opportunity so that you can pass well, qualify for a bursary, qualify for a varsity level, and be able to further your studies and become whatever that you want to become at the end of the day. Very, very much important, honorable members, on that one. So, the code for today's lesson, you just comment in the classroom, not here, but you comment in the classroom um, by saying a additional lesson tomorrow. Smokey says he has calculated 6.4. He's getting negative 1.5. 6.4. Determine the coordinates of C and D. Jesus. I'm curious. Smokey, you've just challenged me to try work it out. Okay. Let me just try work it out. I'm not going to involve you on this one, but you can watch and try to work it out on your side. But okay. Your point D sound, it looks convincing because there it is your X value, which can of course possibly be -4, and there it is your Y value, which can possibly be -2. How did he do that? What he did was to calculate, to equate that and that, because at these 2 points, that's where they are equal. At these 2 points, that's where they are equal. Did was to take that, did it to that. Then what did he do? One can say he multiplied everything by LCD being X plus 3. We also have that one being 2. Because remember, half, it's actually the same as X over 2. That one is the same as over 1. So even if you just say that, and then from there times, and then that cancels, you end up having 2 minus that, it ends up being 2x plus 3 equals that one, only 2 cancels, and then you end up having x into x plus 3. I'm just working this one out by myself. That by that, -2x, that by that, -6, that by that, that, and then that, and that. If you take everything to the right, you remain with 0 on the left, and then you have x squared. That works out with that, it becomes 5x, and then this 2 already is -4, and then when it comes to that side, it gives 4. So it's more like now he is going to factorize, and he has x, 4, and 1, all of them positive. Therefore, it means your x equals to -1, and again your x equals to -4. Something is definitely wrong there. Let's see. No. Mm, where this is why that, oh yes, that C could be -1. Okay, so let me continue and see. So that would mean where X is that, the Y value, you can just substitute it using this equation there to get your Y value. It's more like I'm saying you will therefore have your Y being equals to, obviously, -1/2. I've just substituted it there, that -1. So that means I've got the first coordinates where we have X being -1 and the corresponding Y value, it is -0.5. Possibly this is C. This is that, where that is -0.5 and that there is -1. And then when it comes to this one, it's Y, which is equals to, so you are having that, you substitute obviously your X value being -4, you divide it by 2, you end up having -2. So that means you end up having -2 there, which means you have another coordinates where your X is -4 and your Y is just as, it seems like Smokey smoked it, honorable members. X -4, Y -2. Smokey smoked it. He's saying, according to my calculations, you are right. Just as Smokey, it means you smoked it, honorable member. And that concludes our lesson for today. At least some of you guys were able to see how to work out that one. I'm very much happy that all of you guys did attend and participate. So guys, it is that time where I need to sign out and say thanks very much for joining. My name is Desmond and I'm out.